Today's lesson is called Taking a Bus. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and in today's program, we're trying to get around in a city. That is, if you're traveling to a strange city that you've never been to before, and you don't have a car or you don't have a scooter, you might have to rely on public transportation. And the most common form of public transportation in a lot of cities is the bus.
There you go. Very often here in Taipei, I do have to take buses. The MRT station is quite good, or at least the MRT does reach a lot of different places in Taipei. But at the end, if you want to get a specific or get to a specific location or address, you're probably going to have to take a bus. Because, yeah, the MRT, an MRT train will get you, well, in the general vicinity of where you're going. But will it get you exactly to that place? Probably not, unless you're going to a very famous and well-known destination. So very often, yes, taking a bus is going to be necessary if you are visiting a city or if you're trying to get around in the city that you are in. Anyways, this month's Plus Talk Dialogue features Toby. Okay, Toby is going to New York City. He is in one of the 5 boroughs there. He is in the Bronx. And yes, Toby is going to be taking a bus. Well, not quite yet, okay? First of all, he's going to be finding the right bus. Then once he finds that bus, he will be then taking that bus. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Taking a bus.
1. Finding the right bus. Toby is staying at a hotel near St. Mary's Park in the Bronx, and he wants to visit the Bronx Zoo. He arrives at the bus stop, but doesn't see a way to get there.
Excuse me, is there a bus I can take to get to the Bronx Zoo from here?
Not from this stop, no. If you walk a couple of blocks in that direction, you can take either the BX17 or BX19 from East 149th Street and Jackson Avenue.
Which one is faster?
From there, they pretty much follow the same route, so you can take whichever one arrives first.
Thanks a lot.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 passerby， 这个字是名词，指路人、行人。这个字的复数形式为 passersby， P-A-S-S-E-R-S-B-Y， passersby。例如 A passerby who witnessed the crime called the police， 一位目睹犯罪活动的路人报警。再来，我们看到一个名词 avenue， 这个字可以缩写成为 AVE， 指大街、街道，像是 Fifth Avenue, New York City is home to many famous department stores. 纽约市的第5大道有许多著名的百货公司。另外，补充一个相关片语 Explore every avenue 代表尝试各种办法。可以说 If we're going to secure funding for this project, we'll have to explore every avenue. 如果我们要取得这项企划案的资金，我们势必得尝试各种办法。接着我们看到单字 route， 这个字是名词，指路线、路程。举例来说 We decided to take the longer but nicer route through the woods. 我们决定走比较长但沿途风景比较美的路线，穿越森林。另外，这个字除了可以当名词，还可以当作动词，指安排路线、引导。可以说 The police officer routed traffic away from the intersection where the accident occurred. 警察引导车流避开发生事故的十字路口。再来，我们看到一个形容词 whichever， 指任何一个，无论哪个的。例如 Whichever hat you choose to buy, make sure it's the right size. 不管你要选择买哪一顶帽子，务必确认尺寸是对的。另外，补充一个同义的片语 no matter which， 我们可以说 No matter which candidate we choose for the job, we will need to provide them with training. 不管我们录取哪位求职者做这份工作，我们都需要训练他们。
Okay, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson right now, starring Toby. And Toby is traveling to New York City, and he's staying at a hotel near St. Mary's Park in the Bronx, and he's trying to find the right bus. He wants to visit the Bronx Zoo. So if you're familiar with New York City, you know there are 5 boroughs there. The Bronx is, I guess, the one that's the farthest to the north. It's actually on the mainland. It's not part of an island. And the Bronx always has the there. I live in the Bronx, or I was born in the Bronx. But you would say, oh, I live in Queens, I live in Brooklyn, or I work in Manhattan. You don't need a the in front of those boroughs.
Oh, and don't forget, there's one borough you missed there.
I missed it on purpose because nobody ever talks about Staten Island.
Oh, are you kidding? Staten Island is great. First of all, it's an island. Second of all, that's where the New York Marathon begins. Yeah, the New York Marathon goes through all 5 of the boroughs there in New York City, but it does start in Staten Island. But like you said before, you wouldn't say, yeah, I'm going to go visit my cousin in Bronx. No, you have to say the Bronx. I know it's a bit weird, but hey, you only have to remember that one the. The other boroughs, you just say the name. You don't need the. All right, let's get back into our lesson. Now, Toby, he arrives at the bus stop, but doesn't see a way to get there. So, I'm trying to get to the zoo. If I were in Taipei, no problem. I jump on the brown MRT train, and if I ride that to the end, it'll take me to Taipei Zoo. No problem. How easy. But apparently, getting to the Bronx Zoo is not quite that easy.
No, it's not. So Toby is outside the bus stop and he sees a passerby and he says, "Excuse me, is there a bus I can take to get to the Bronx Zoo from here?" Remember, you take a bus or you can take a train, which means you basically use that form of transportation to get to your destination. So yeah, which bus do I take to get to the Bronx Zoo? Is there a bus I can take from here?
Yeah, turns out that Toby is kind of right. Apparently, he is not in the right place. And yeah, the passerby tells him this next. By the way, a passerby on the street is just someone who is walking by. Okay, you might stop them and ask them for some information or for some help or something like that. And yes, the passerby here is polite to Toby. The passerby says, "Not from this stop, no," i.e., sorry, pal, okay? I know you want to go to the Bronx Zoo, but you won't be able to catch a bus to the Bronx Zoo from here. But then the passerby continues, saying, if you walk a couple of blocks in that direction, you can take either the BX-17 or BX-19 from East 149th Street and Jackson Avenue. So there you go. This passerby is just a fountain of information. This person is telling Toby where Toby needs to go in order to catch a bus to the Bronx Zoo. Now, before we move on here, let's talk about this word avenue. It's a noun, okay? An avenue is a street or a road, usually within a city, okay? Very often, avenues are quite fancy. Like, let's say you have some boulevards or avenues in Paris, okay? These are going to be very nice, wide streets that have trees on the sides and stuff like that. So here, I'm not sure that Jackson Avenue is as good as a boulevard or an avenue in Paris, but hey, it is New York City, so I'm sure Jackson Avenue is quite nice.
Generally, in New York, the avenues run north and south, and the streets run east and west, although that arrangement might be different out in the boroughs. Also, notice if you are taking buses in New York City, the buses have different letters indicating which part of the city they operate in. So BX here would be the Bronx, and then buses that go to Queens would have a Q, Brooklyn, B, etc., etc. So they're in the Bronx here, and he needs to walk a couple of blocks in a particular direction to get one of 2 buses. And this sounds like an intersection here, 149th Street and Jackson Avenue. Well, Toby has been told about 2 buses, BX-17 or BX-19. So his question is, well, which one is faster? I I'm in a hurry to get to the zoo. There are a lot of animals to check out there. I don't want to waste any time. I want the fastest bus to the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah, passerby again answers Toby by saying, well, from there, they pretty much follow the same route, so you can take whichever one arrives first, which is good advice. If both of the buses go to the same place and follow about the same route, just take the one that comes first, and then you'll get to the Bronx Zoo or wherever it is you're heading the fastest. Anyways, here we have the word route. Some people say route, some people say route, R-O-U-T-E. A route is a way, okay? It's a path or a way that you can take to get someplace.
That's right, and they pretty much follow the same route. That's true of buses in Taipei, like the 216 bus, or the 217, or the 266. They all go to Beito, so they kind of follow the same route, although they do go to different places at the end there. But in this particular case, both those buses are probably going to take you to the Bronx Zoo. You should be okay. You can take whichever one arrives first. So here, whichever just means either one. Either it's the first one or the second one. It's two or more choices.
And Toby, he's a polite person, so Toby says, hey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for all your help. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
2. Where to get off. Toby finds the right bus stop and gets on the BX17 bus. Unfortunately, he falls asleep and doesn't know how many more stops are left when he wakes up.
I'm sorry for the interruption, but I was wondering if you could tell me how many more stops it is to get to the Bronx Zoo. Let's see. We're at Crotona Avenue and Claremont Parkway now, so there should be 9 stops left. Do you know where I should get off? Crotona Avenue and East 187th Street is the closest, I believe. From there, it's merely a 6-minute walk. Thanks for your help.
第二部分我们看到一个单字 interruption， 这个字是名词，指打断、中断。举例来说 Sarah had too many interruptions last night to finish watching the movie. Sarah 昨晚受到太多打扰而无法看完这部电影。另外，去除这个字字尾的 ion 可以成为它的动词 interrupt， 有中断、打断的意思。我们可以说 Please don't interrupt me while I'm thinking. 请不要在我思考的时候打断我。接下来我们看到名词 parkway， 用来指林荫大道，像是 Kevin parked his car on the parkway 2 blocks away from the gym. Kevin 把他的车停在健身房2个街区外的林荫大道上。最后我们看到一个单字 merely， 这个字是副词，指仅仅、只是。例如 Don't worry, the police officer merely wants to ask you some questions. 别担心，那位警官只不过是想问你一些问题而已。另外补充一个相关的片语，可以用 not merely ... but ... 来表示不仅... 而且。可以说 Stephen not merely had some delicious cuisine, but also met some new friends at the business dinner. Stephen 不仅在公司聚会中品尝美味的菜肴，而且还认识了一些新朋友。
All right, let's continue with our lesson. Now, remember, when you take the bus, you need to get on the bus and you need to get off the bus. We generally use these verb phrases to talk about vehicles or modes of transportation that you actually step onto, like get on a boat, get off a boat, get on a plane, get off a plane. But if you get into the vehicle and you sit down right away, like a car, then you get in the car and you get out of the car.
There you go. Yeah, I've always been confused by this. Why do people say, yes, it's time for you guys to get on the plane? Okay, you do say get on the plane even though you're not sitting on top of the plane or anything like that. But I guess what you're saying right now is making sense. If you do walk into the plane, you're going to walk around for a while before you sit down. So you say you're getting on the bus. Whereas if you're getting into a car, you're pretty much going to sit down immediately. So yeah, get in the car How cool. Anyways, where to get off, i.e., Toby's now on the bus. He's got to find where to get off, okay? He's got to get off at the right stop. Anyways, Toby finds the right bus and gets on the BX17 bus. Unfortunately, he falls asleep and doesn't know how many more stops are left when he wakes up. So poor Toby, maybe he's got a little bit of jet lag there after all sorts of travel. Maybe he's been working hard. Who knows? One way or another, he's drowsy and he falls asleep while he's on the bus there. And then he wakes up, he comes to, and he doesn't know how many stops are left. That is no good.
They might have indications on the bus like they do on the trains there, like we're now at this station. We have 5 more stations to go to your destination. But he's not familiar with the system, so he needs to ask for assistance. So he talks to another passenger on the bus. I'm sorry for the interruption, but I was wondering if you could tell me how many more stops it is to get to the Bronx Zoo. So here we've got the word interruption. That's when you interrupt someone. The verb interrupt just means you kind of interfere with what people are doing. They're busy with something.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah? Hey, you're interrupting me. Hey, I kind of knew you would do that. I thought you were going to do that to me first before I did it to you as an example. But yeah, that's an interruption.
But that was an interruption. I interrupted you. That would be the verb,
right.
Okay? And interruption would be the noun. That's the form that is in our dialogue here. And by the way, I don't like being interrupted, okay? I only interrupted Roger for the sake of the explanation, okay? I hope I didn't miff you or make you slightly angry there, because if someone did interrupt me, I would be a little bit miffed or angry or irritated. Yeah, interruptions can be bad.
They can be indeed. So, of course, you need to be polite when you're asking for directions. So, I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm sorry to bother you. But could you please tell me how many more stops it is to get to the Bronx Zoo? When should I get off the bus? You could also say, where should I alight?
There you go. Toby's got a question. And you know what? The passenger is there to help and to answer. And the passenger next says, you're trying to go to the Bronx Zoo. How many more stops are there? Well, let's see. We're at Crotona Avenue and Claremont Parkway now. So there should be 9 stops left. By the way, this passenger is great. What precise information, okay? This passenger knows that there are 9 stops left before the Bronx Zoo. What accuracy. Wow.
Yep, that person is very precise and very accurate. So, again, these are the directions. Toby has to wait 9 more stops before he can get off the bus. And Toby says, well, do you know where I should get off? Okay, so there are 9 more stops. Yeah, what's the stop called? Where should I get off the bus?
Where should I get off the bus? And again, the passenger knows. The passenger says, Crotona Avenue and East 187th Street is the closest, I believe, i.e., this is the closest stop. And then the passenger also says, I believe. Now notice that I believe is at the end of that person's line there, okay? Usually you'll say this if you're not quite sure, but I think that the passenger here is being modest, okay? This person seems very, very knowledgeable. I think that Toby should trust this person. Anyways, that's the stop, and then the passenger says, from there, it's merely a 6-minute walk to the Bronx Zoo. And here we have the word merely to talk about, and it's an adverb. Merely means only or just.
Yep, I was merely joking with you. Don't take it so seriously. But again, it's only a 6-minute walk, and you'll be there in no time. Toby is very polite and says, thanks for your help, and I'm sure Toby's going to have a great time at the Bronx Zoo.
All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break here, but don't worry, the Chinese teacher is on her way.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在第二段对话里面， Toby 搭公车去布朗克斯动物园，不过他在车上睡着了，不晓得还有几站会到，于是他就对车上另外一名乘客说， I'm sorry for the interruption, but I was wondering if you could tell me how many more stops it is to get to the Bronx Zoo。抱歉打扰你，但能否请你告诉我离布朗克斯动物园还有几站呢？好，句子里面的 if 在这边就相当于 whether， 是用来引导名词子句表达是否怎么样怎么样。好，那要注意的是 whether 引导的名词子句可以用来当主词、受词或是主词补语，可是 if 引导的名词子句只能当受词或是主词补语，它不能当主词来用。举例来说， I wonder whether Ryan has free time this week。 我想知道 Ryan 这周是否有空。那句子里面的 whether 可以用 if 替换，变成 I wonder if Ryan has free time this week。 好，那在这个例句当中， whether 或是 if 引导的子句呢，就是用来当受词用，是当动词 wonder 的受词。我们再造一个例句， Whether Sharon comes to the party doesn't matter to me。无论 Sharon 是否会出席派对，对我来说都不重要。那句子里面这个名词子句 whether Sharon comes to the party， 它是当主词用，那这时候 whether 就不能用 if 来替换咯。好，另外课文句子里面有一个单字叫 interruption， 它的动词是 interrupt。那我们来学它的字首字根。好， INTER这个字首表示在什么什么之间，那它的字根 RUPT 表示打断、破裂。当我们从中介入某件事情，在某个活动之间把它打断，把它的连贯性打断，那么我们就可以想到 interrupt 它有打岔或是中断的意思。然后我们在 interrupt 后面加上名词字尾 ION， 就会变成名词 interruption， 表示打断、中断。好，顺便补充有两个相同字根的单字，第一个是 erupt E-R-U-P-T， 这个字的字首 E 有向外的意思，那么 R-U-P-T 表示破裂。爆炸的时候是不是会有东西破裂，会有很多碎屑向外喷发呢？那么 erupt 这个动词它就有喷出、爆发的语义，常常用来表达火山的爆发。好，第二个单字是 abrupt A-B-R-U-P-T， 它的字首 A-B 有分离的意思， R-U-P-T 表示打断。那同学们可以试着联想，当某个东西呢它突然断裂的时候，是不是会让人有一种很突然很意外的感觉呢？那么 abrupt 这个形容词就是用来描述意外的、突然的、很唐突的。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Avenue. In Manhattan, all avenues run north to south, while streets go east to west, so it's easy to figure out where you are. Route. This route is too long and complicated. Do you know a shortcut? Whichever. You can order whichever dessert you like. They all look good to me. Interruption. I tried working from home for a week, but there were too many interruptions for me to get anything done. Merely. I thought there was a stranger in my house, but it was merely my cat.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.